This conference will now be recorded.
Regarding all right, then I will seek minutes approval for September 10th.
Mr. Mayor. I make a motion that we accept, as presented, the, September 10th, 2024, meeting minutes for the city council meeting.
Second. All right, we have a second. Is there any discussion? All in favor? Opposed? Motion carries. Minutes are approved. Public comments related to agenda items only. Do you have any public comments?
Dusty McCracken, 114 South Oak. Yeah, I just want to appreciate John Adair. I was going through the agenda today and noticed that he has placed pictures and stuff in his report out, rewarding and service awards and stuff like that. I thought that was very neat for the town, so I'm glad that he realizes that other people outside of this meeting get to hear that too and be able to visually see that as well. So really appreciate what you do for the town, John. I think you do a really good job. Communications, I want to appreciate Tabitha and Eileen as well. We had a wonderful summer. I don't think there's any time that nothing was going on or anything like that. So really appreciate what you're doing. I'm looking forward to Skip's work with Tabitha as well around return on investment and stuff for those events. I know we spend a lot of money and stuff inside of our events and stuff, but looking really forward to that. Around planning, building, and zoning, I appreciate the lunch and learn that we just now completed. It's a really good way to educate and promote a positive front on the town, so appreciate that. But inside that, She's talking a little bit about the community rating system. Very concerned about the community rating system. I know there's a lot of things been going on the last 2 or 3 years. We used to have a class 5 rating, we're now a class 7. And I think that's included a 10% premium increase on our flood insurances as well. So if you look across town completely of how many housing units we have, and then also flood insurance premiums, we're looking anywhere from $500,000 to $1 million impact on our residents. So it's really important that we make sure that we're in compliance and reporting out, making sure we're doing our education pieces and everything with that community rating system and everything in the town's power to make sure that we continue to receive our premiums discounts, because we talked a lot about tax increases this year, but really that it's very impactful when their insurance is increasing 30% every year anyway. So just keep that in mind and make sure we're in compliance with that. I'm kind of concerned about the document purging and scanning as well. Kind of seems like we're throwing stuff away and stuff, but we're also scanning digitally. I have a concern around that, just being that in the past it's hard to keep records and stuff. So we have a lot of turnover and stuff in that department as well. So I hope the next people are experienced or whatever in that as well, making sure we're able to utilize whatever scanning process we're making as well. And then the moratorium, am I up, I guess?
No.
She didn't start
I
it.
didn't start it because I'm still,
Okay, so the moratorium tonight, I just had some information around that. I did a little research around it. I am a planning commission member. I'm not acting upon as a planning commission. I'm just specifying what research I did. In the state of South Carolina, not all states, but in the state of South Carolina, a moratorium is considered and required to be enacted by an ordinance amendment. So to do that in our local ordinance from section 17202, it requires a public hearing by the planning commission, which a public hearing has not been completed related to this enacted. So we're having a first reading tonight. I would say reach out to the parliamentarian or your attorney and make sure we're in compliance with that moratorium, because chapter 17, section 17202 says we have to have a public hearing for an ordinance. And also there's an equal dignity rule in the state of South Carolina. And then also did a little research on the Municipal Association of South Carolina, which has a lawsuit from Simpkins versus City of Gaffney that says that a moratorium has to be done by an ordinance. So before we proceed with that, I would ask that the council get clarification on that. But thank you.
Thank you very much. Any other public comments? All right, well then we will move on to item 6, communications. Item A is the administrator's report. Mr. Vincent is in a conference, so I'm going to just read his report. And you can ask questions if you want, but probably won't get anything else. All right, so the pier update, the Whistling Duck. Mike Wallace is the lessee for Building C. Unit D is requesting an extension from town council due to a few personal setbacks for an additional 90 days until the end of December 2024. And would begin to make lease payments to the town regardless of a CO at that time. And there is an addendum that we will be considering voting on later today. Inspections of the town's public facilities. There's a draft RFP. It's been prepared and will be advertised once the staff has corrected a few items as assigned. The RFP will request quotes from general contractors for Town Hall, Huckabee Park, Floral Clubhouse, Public Works, police and fire stations. Once formalized, these quotes will be presented to town council for consideration. And we've discussed all of those buildings in recent meetings, including a workshop. Other items, a draft RFP is being prepared for cleaning services for all town public facilities. And apparently we haven't done that in quite some time. Facilities division will handle the process. There is a request for proposals to assist the peer committee to determine the online ordering process, material types, pricing, and turnaround time for the pier plaques. And lastly, Eric Robinson continues to correspond with engineers regarding cost estimates for the removal of asbestos, mold, and to completely gut the Civic Center for renovations. And we have one last cost estimate before it is considered by town council. The rest of the information is just the draft RFPs, so I'm not going to go through them. Have any other questions? I'm willing to try.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Kinkin.
It may be just a typo, but when the section on the cleaning service, it'll be 2024-003.
Oh,
It did not include the fire station.
Uh,
I hope that's just an oversight. Are we gonna make them?
They do have closes, so I just think it shoot it down a little bit, but,
Anyway,
yeah, we should note it, yeah.
yeah, that's it. Thank you.
All right, thanks. All right, with that, I'm going to move into the director's reports, and we will start with the fire department. Chief Nelson.
Evening, Chief.
I'm excited to announce that we've offered 4 firefighter EMT positions out this week, which will bring us to full staffing for the department, giving us 3 firefighters and 1 officer on each of the 3 shifts. We still need to hire the fire inspector position, but we have several applicants and we will be starting the interview process next week. We've submitted to 3 companies for signage for the dedication of the fire station to Assistant Chief Anderson. We're waiting for these quotes to come back, and I hope to have the RFPs in hand within the next couple of weeks. We are excited to assist with the Keep Surfside Beach Beautiful and the beach sweep last weekend, as well as we were honored that they assisted with can collection for the South Carolina Firefighters Association can trailer, which helps benefit Camp Can Do. It allows children and their families to be able to go to camp with other children that have been burned. Started, we had 10 volunteers and 3 support personnel. Of the 10, we had 5 that were certified as interior firefighters that could go into burning homes. I'm proud to announce that our current volunteer roster, we have 17 volunteers, 5 support personnel. Of the 17 volunteers, we have 9 certified interior firefighters. I'm also hoping that the RFP for the fire department billing will be completed within the next few weeks as well. We've also found a fire inspection program that we will be assisting with documentation of all fire inspections, and we'll be purchasing that. We wish to invite everyone out to the Surfside Beach Fire Department's open house on October 12th. Please look to the town and the fire department's social media platform for events as well as times. We'll have educational events going on throughout the day. Please come out and learn some fire safety that can save your lives or your families. That's it.
Thank you very much. Do we have any questions for Chief Nelson? Mr. Walls?
I understand, Chief Nelson, we've lost another senior fireman.
No, sir.
No? Somebody didn't resign today.
I take that back. We had one yesterday that resigned.
Yes.
He had medical issues, was out, and then he resigned when he came back. He hasn't been here. I apologize. He was here 2 weeks when I got here. So
So it's not necessarily a senior.
he was here for 10 years.
Oh,
Correct.
hopefully that's the last thing.
I agree.
Thank you.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Coleman?
so how many do you have of the original firefighters?
Captains, and we have 1 firefighter. Of the people that we had 1 captain take off to go to work for Grand Strand Hospital. It was an upward movement for him. We had a firefighter that left to move back to North Carolina to be closer to his family and got a job as a firefighter up there. He had been traveling back and forth consistently. We had 1 retired, and we had this 1 here just stepped down after coming off medical leave for 6 months. And the last one, we hired an individual, but he didn't meet our expectations or things, and we had to let him go. And that's it.
Now we have 17 volunteers
Correct.
and 9 can actually fight a fire.
Correct.
Are they, any of those volunteers are people who used to be volunteers or here?
No.
They're all brand new.
Correct.
I think you're doing a great job.
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Stamey?
we have excellent interviews from these people now.
Yes, sir.
So we are keeping up with that.
Correct. Human Resources gave that out roughly, I think, 1 employee before that, and we gave it out to him, and he was told to give it on to HR as well.
Thank you.
I have a question, or more a comment, with the naming the fire station that we approved last meeting. I've talked to the family, And it's been noted that he went down on January 21st in 2002. So I would like to see if it's possible to get this done so that we could do a dedication at that time, about 4 months.
Absolutely agree with you. My goal is to have it within the next couple of weeks. We could have it put up and have a dedication for him that time too.
Okay, that would be great. Yeah, okay. And then the other thing I want to bring up is next month, I think would be appropriate to hear in your report, I mean, maybe dedicated specifically to the state of the fire department. When we decided to approve the additional hirings back in whatever that was, we still said, we'd assess it before the end of the year and see if it was the right decision or see if we need to get back to work with Horry County. And I'd like to get that assessment. I think
Absolutely.
this council has to officially decide which way it wants to go before we start the budget process or anything like that.
Sounds good.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for Chief Nelson? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thanks, Dave.
We'll move on to the police department. Chief Davis.
Good evening, everyone. So you notice our monthly report looks a little different. I'm trying to give everybody some idea of what type of crimes we're actually seeing, and what types of increase and whatnot, and how we deal with that. So hopefully this will be a little more informative for everyone. In August of 2024, we only had a 0.22% increase in actual calls for service. That's really low. I was surprised. We had 3,708 calls as opposed to the same period last year, which was 3,700. So you couldn't have done that again if you'd have paid him. Arrest data, we had 12 arrest warrants issued with 9 served and 3 still outstanding. 6 warrants for narcotics violations with 33 total arrests. As you can see, I have a list of these are not completely what are called index crimes, but they match closely what index crimes are. Index crimes are serious crimes, and then you have some others that are scattered in that are not necessarily index crimes, but we have a lot of arrests for those. And I want the council to be made aware of just what those are and how we deal with those. So, as you see, it ranges from sexual assaults down to trespassing, and I look at January until the end of August. And for two separate years in a row, I look at 2023 and then 2024, so that gives us some idea of how we are. The only glaring difference that I really found was in the narcotics arrests. Now, there can be many reasons for less narcotics arrests. It might be that we made a dent, which I hope that's what it is. Some folks will say that folks are getting the message. We're very active in narcotics. We pursue narcotics cases very strongly. I hope that's what that is. Some folks will maybe say it's we don't have the traffic through here. We're not seeing the traffic stops that we have in the past because of less staff. And that can be said as well. But predominantly what we've seen is we're getting less reports on narcotics. So that might be a good thing. But we're still monitoring, looking at it as we go. Say that we onboarded our first new employee of the year today. It's a gentleman that's worked with us before. He's coming on board as a part-time officer. May be required to do a few weeks of training online with the academy, but he'll essentially be brought in as a certified police officer. If there's any training he needs to catch up on, it's just a little bit, if that. We've asked for a waiting. We think that we'll be successful there as well. So, did make a promotion. Officer Rob Coaches has been promoted to police officer first class. He worked today. So, aside from some routine training updates, with the academy portal, some following training was undertaken for the month of August. Our administrative manager and victims advocates went through required training with the South Carolina Law Enforcement Victim Advocates, both South Carolina League, they're called. in Myrtle Beach this month. That was of no cost to us. It was local training as well. We're awaiting the very final articles on the hiring, actually, of 2 new officers since we hired one today. So there's an update to that from the time this went through, which will likely be completed sometime this week. So I'm hoping at our next meeting, I can tell you about our other 2 new folks and maybe introduce some folks. I'm looking forward to it. Our staff has been heavily involved this month in planning sessions for fall events and festivals. Ms. Tabitha probably doesn't want to see us anymore, but she's been great. Yes. She has. That's okay. We like it. We had the honor of participating with our town family in the 9/11 Memorial Stair Climb of the Year. Several of our officers participated. I wanted to thank Chief Nelson. Really, we had a great time. And several of y'all were there too. We had a good time. Nothing really of note in the report.
All right, thank you. Do you have any questions or comments for Chief Davis?
Mr. Mayor,
Mr. Staney?
are you pretty well staffed up in, are you pretty full?
We're getting there. I mean, we haven't gotten everybody in place, but we're gonna be, when we get these next 2 folks hired, we'll still have the 2 frozen positions, but we'll still be. We have a pool that we're working on right now. We feel like we'll be in good shape as we move forward.
So when you get these,
I'll get 2, we have 2 that are in the process of that done right now. Once those are through, I think I have 2 more slots, and then we have 2 frozen
So,
slots. That we have.
really full.
So, right, in total, yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We have 1 gentleman that's in the process that will have to go back to the academy. He was a prior certified officer, but his certification expired as he left law enforcement for a little while. But I have no question he will do very well. So we're excited about it. Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Kincaid?
I wanted to ask you about your leased vehicles. Have you received them?
We've received them, yes, sir.
Are you happy with them?
Well, so far, we're having just a little bit of difficulty getting tags for one of the trucks, but we're working through that with the folks at Enterprise. The other 2 vehicles are in the process of being outfitted, so we're about to get them on the road here shortly. And so